Welcome everybody to Imagination TV. Today we're hanging out with the youngsters, and this week we've been kicking around the idea of asking questions. So I'd love to hear on the chat line the most uncomfortable question you can remember asking a teacher or a person in authority in your life. So someone that you thought, heck, I don't know how to ask this question, and I don't know whether I'm going to get told that I'm stupid for asking it. I remember for the first, 6 years of running AIM, like going into these meetings and being like, okay, yeah, I should pretend with these really smart people who are talking to me that I know stuff. So we'd be talking to someone who runs like a big bank or something, or someone who works in Parliament House, and they'd say, have you read this book, Jack, or have you done this? And I'd always go, yep. And I'd never read it. I was just always trying to pretend to be smart. So if they asked me if I knew something, I'd be like, oh yeah, of course. And then about 3 or 4 years ago, I started going, no, I haven't. What is it? Can you tell me? And then I got to learn all of this extra stuff because I just said, no, I haven't. And so I think being able to get over that moment and realize that I didn't come across as being dumb, I actually came across as someone who was interested. And now I've seen it on the other side, like when people are coming through or meeting with people, and I'll say, have you read this? Like people go, I'm like, you're fucking lying. Oops, I swore. Apologies for that one. That one slipped out because I was being a little bit too honest. So please forgive me. We do make our mistakes along the way, and let's keep moving with the youngsters segment as we move through on Imagination TV. So that one will hopefully be beeped out in all future episodes. And we are human, and yes, please forgive me for swearing. Okay, let's keep moving now. Live television, thankfully we get to just keep going through. But today we have Conor who's with us. Conor Syron as the co-host. Conor, how are you?
Feeling good. Good to be back on the show again.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, cuz. What does asking questions mean to you? Do you have a moment where you asked a question where you felt really uncomfortable that you can think about in school, or in a moment where you were struggling with an idea?
Yeah, I think one time that I struggled to ask a question or even felt embarrassed to ask one was in my maths class, because I really just struggled. And yet when I did, it just really never mattered. And there was just so much benefit to actually asking that question than just not trying to overcome that stress about it.
Do you remember what the question was?
Something about quadratic formula, all that complicated stuff.
It's always something about quadratic formula. They are sort of deeply philosophical. What are you feeling about being a co-host today? What do you want to get out of this experience?
I really want to share an important message with people to chase their passions by asking questions.
Cool. That's a great way to start the show. We're about to move into our President of Imagination section and give the youngsters a chance to be the President of Imagination. So what do you think, Conor? We should jump into the video and get into it?
Yeah, let's get into it.
I want to get our homeless people off the street.
I want to see a future where education is free.
Today, we ask you to imagine what's possible.
Got Maddie Leonard on the chat line saying, can I go to the bathroom, being one of the more uncomfortable questions to ask in school, especially during an exam, a question that was already embarrassing enough, but made more so if the teacher then said, why do you want to go to the bathroom? Good point, Maddie. That sounds incredibly uncomfortable. And I'm glad that you did ask the question so you could go to the bathroom and your body didn't explode. All right, let's go into our first presidential speech. Hope Wright, how are you feeling about being the president of Imagination today?
I'm excited.
Awesome. Well, let's just give you the stage so we don't steal any of your words. And ladies and gentlemen, introducing Hope Wright, the president of Imagination, to deliver her speech today to the nation.
How do you know what you know? Where did you find the information you know? Did you ask yourself, others, or the internet? Asking questions helps you uncover in-depth details and responses to the challenges you're facing and the questions you pose, and it aids you in generating better solutions to solve those problems and answer those questions. Throughout history, questions have been asked and answered. Because of this, our society is what it is today. Without questions and the passing on of knowledge, certain aspects of topics can be easily lost. Take Indigenous culture, for example. If you didn't ask which mob you were from, would you know which mob you belong to? If you didn't ask your elders about your culture, would you know the sacrifices and struggles? If you didn't ask about how things like animals and the formation of land came to be, would you know how the first crocodile, magpie, whale, or shark came into existence? Asking questions is what connects everyone to each other, and it's what a strong individual does. One day, leading the world will be left to us. The challenges and obstacles that follow will really be the true testament of who we are as a generation and as individuals. We come in all shapes and forms across a huge colour palette. Asking questions provides us all with the strength to inspire and the power to unite people, because being a great leader is about always and constantly learning, adapting, and evolving. One of my absolute favourite things to do is learn. On any day of any week, I can look back and think about those opportunities I got, such as getting published in The Mentor, going to Sydney and doing a live interview with one of my idols, writing the closing speech of AIM 2018, and completing a Cert 3 in hospitality. These things were not done without overcoming obstacles and struggles like shyness, anxiety, and the fear of the unknown. But I've done these things all because of a man with a dream that inspires me. Now I ask questions and I'm not afraid to do so. One of the key ways that we learn, not only in school but throughout life, is by asking questions. It's certain that your parents can attest to the fact that you have been asking questions, some of them difficult to answer, since your first capacity to verbalize sentences. Your questions have continued, as they should, and even your peers learn about you by the questions you ask. It's about the general notion of questions that allows the asker and the asked to learn from each other. I used to think asking someone a question was silly and brainless, but I realized that the people that were asking the questions actually knew more. They were the people others were now coming to and asking for help, because they were the ones that asked the initial question, and they were able to produce and develop from the answers they got. Being a leader is more than a title for me. I believe a leader should be a positive role model and encourage people so that everyone can achieve things to the best of their ability. You don't have a voice until you use the voice. Asking questions allows you to do that. Asking questions allows you as an individual to generate your own thoughts, ideas, opinions, and beliefs. When we discount questions that are silly, tasteless, or mindless, we still have to acknowledge that all questions are still worth asking, no matter how simple or easily answered. Some questions have great proximate significance with having lasting importance. This allows those questions to grow by themselves, and in doing so, it allows the askers and the asked to collaborate in a more creative way. I love the world, and everyone within the world is so creative and innovative, but I wish more questions were asked and more often, as people tend to give up when they don't know the answer because the fear of raising your hand or going up to someone and asking them a question is too powerful. If we can accept that questions are not only acceptable but are also essential, then we can move on to determining what is ultimately beneficial. Simple answer: asking questions freely.
Hope, that was awesome. Thank you so much for that. How do you feel?
It was actually new doing a speech in my bedroom.
Yeah.
Normally it's in front of like a lot of people.
Do you feel a lot less nervous this time? Did you even get any nerves? You've done so many speeches.
I actually felt more nervous doing it in my bedroom.
Really?
I don't know. I feel like when you're asking questions and you're talking to people, whether you're talking to them through a speech or in general, and you're asking questions in your speech, like I did with my closing speech in 2018, or when I'm in an interview, like when I talked with Jack in Sydney, I don't know, I felt more confident.
Well, you came across as confident, Hope. You were calm and collected, and yeah, thank you for walking the talk and being someone that wants to get out there and ask some questions. We've got Kat on the chat line saying, "You, Hope, you're an inspiration. Thank you so much for sharing this with us. So well articulated." Georgie saying, "SA representing today." We've got some questions coming in. Blake saying, "How do you know what you know?" I don't know. Robbie Miller saying, "I remember feeling embarrassed in grade 7 for asking what the difference between mean, median, and mode was." Robbie, if you know the answer to that, that'd be great to share with all of us. Tom Wensley says, "Asking questions is what connects us together." Keep the comments and the questions coming through. Love to know the times where you felt really embarrassed and you had to overcome shame with asking a question when you're at school or maybe at uni or at work with someone who is seen as more senior to you. Connor, how do you reckon Hope went?
Yeah, absolutely fantastic.
What did you learn?
I learned that just like Hope, by asking those important questions and seeking an answer, you can reach for the skies.
All right, cool. Let's have a question for the next president of Imagination that you can lead off with once they finish their speech. So we're going to go over to Chloe West now. Chloe, how are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling good, thanks.
Awesome. And where in Australia are you at the moment?
I'm from Sydney, so yeah.
Nice. Well, without further ado, let's get you going. Chloe West, the president of Imagination, the stage is yours. Welcome to your leadership position and please lead us.
Thank you, Jack. For the time being, as president on Imagination, I'd like to influence the youngsters of the world to ask questions and use their imagination in everyday use. I know it's something that everybody has, imagination, and I like to hear everyone. We can and will change the world with our voices, together. As president, I know everyone is going to have questions, to whom which I'd love to answer them all. Questions are used in our everyday life. We use it in the classroom, at home, at work, even at the park. My opinion is questions bring us together without even noticing. And imagination is kind of like the cherry on top. It makes us get that adrenaline that we just kind of want to say everything that's on our minds and make it into a reality, which just really ties the knot. We all have ideas and questions about everything on this earth. So why not work as a team to help others get those questions, especially with this COVID-19 going around? It's somehow making us all closer, even if we're 1.5 to 2 meters apart and or on screen. AIM has been a massive help in my behalf because of many reasons. My questions have been answered, and even if they don't know what to reply, they'll always say something back in their opinion. My imagination has really grown around these incredible people. My passion of art really took off with AIM. Imagination is giving everyone ideas on what we can do as a team of young leaders, putting our ideas together and asking questions to make something better in life. We are going to make a difference. So, as your president, I'd like to announce that no matter how old or young we are, imagination and questions are the key, even if you haven't found it yet. We can use it in everyday life and help us achieve great in life. We all have goals, so why not step out of your comfort zone and get those questions answered?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Chloe. I've got a bit of a question for you. What inspired you to break through your comfort zone and become the president?
Ever since I was in year 7, I was asked to go on AIM, and I've always been a quiet person. I remember my mentor and I really enjoying science, and she said, "Go up and talk about it." And I was like, okay, I'll talk about it. And I realized how no one really cared on the bad things in life. They always are like, "Oh, this is really cool," or they'll put good things in front of it, and it kind of just boosted my confidence into say anything, and it just kind of made me who I am today. So
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for that.
We've got Boo Love Music saying, yes, you are. I love the attitude. Tom Winsley saying, thank you, Chloe. Alexander Jackson saying, what a journey, Chloe. Chloe, what we do at AIM is just a bit of trick work. You do all the change yourself. We just kind of provide a bit of a stage and go, this is in you. And part of what we're trying to pull away is just unnecessary wasted energy on judgment to limit our ability to act, and fear of failure, and having these cloaks of shame that we think, oh man, I'll be really ashamed if I fail. And just by doing, you then go, oh, okay, I just did something. And then you get to learn, then you get to get up again, and you get to do something. And the more you do stuff, the more you know stuff, and then life's more interesting. And then more often than not, people will value you if you know some stuff. So good on you for doing some stuff. Alrighty, our final presidential speech for the day is Kalani. Kalani, how you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good, Jack. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Pretty relaxed. I feel a little bit of shame creeping in because I accidentally swore, but a good lesson in development. I thought it was cool when I was in my 20s to swear every now and again when I was out doing AIM stuff, because I was like, oh, this will make me a sort of point of difference. And it does create shock when you do swear as a communication tool. And then over time, I was like, oh, maybe my vocabulary can just get a little bit more complex, and that's okay. And then when I went to America and worked there for 3 or 4 years, they really don't find swearing charming. Like when you say a swear word, people are like, what did you just say? And everything drops. So apart from feeling like I've stuffed up there and just want to keep on going and maybe bury my head a little bit, Kalani, I'm feeling great.
That's good. Just swearing's not too bad, at least in Australia. Maybe if the people in America are watching it, then they might go a bit of a shock.
We just acknowledge that we all make mistakes. We're all human, and we're all doing our best, and we keep moving ahead. Kalani, thank you for joining us. Looking forward to having you as a president of IMAGI-NATION. The nation is yours to lead. Your opening speech begins right now, ladies and gentlemen. Kalani Ripley, let's go for it.
Awesome. Thanks, Jack. Now, I'm not one to read off a speech. Normally, I'd go ahead and just wing these things, but I thought I'd sit down and have a bit of a think on what I was going to say, because I'm not used to writing off a prompt. So I asked a question, and it was that question why I'm here talking on IMAGI-NATION TV. I was asked to do a speech about asking questions. Kind of ironic, but I really liked it. Now, I'm not the greatest speaker by any means. I feel I can bring a good sense of enthusiasm, and somehow you mob will listen to that. So I'm not going to sit here saying questions are to have an inquiry to gain information, because that'd be the dictionary. And this is a bit more than that. Instead, I'm going to say why you should ask questions from a 17-year-old teenager that hasn't seen too much adversity. But I did stub my toe walking into this room, so I think that makes me qualified. But first, I'll give you some backstory. I'm Kalani Ripley, I'm a Kalkadoon man, and I'm a school captain and business owner. I do this quite often, and by this, I mean talk to people. Whether it's through this $30 webcam or my Indigenous coordinator at school, I am talking to people every single day. And you'll never get to know somebody without asking questions. I am not talking about the, hey, how was your day? Like I said to you earlier, Jack, but instead the, hey, how was your day? It's the way we ask questions that make us feel connected to one another. And no, I don't want a connection with the dude at Baker's Delight, but I do want one with good people in my life. And that includes the person who's a bit quieter and doesn't seem like they're engaging. Putting that little bit of extra time into asking select questions to the ones who care, even if you're just walking down the street, can make a huge difference to somebody's day and overall just the way they feel in life. So I challenge you guys, next time you have a conversation, put on a smile, ask them how their day was, connect with them. You may have just found your new best friend.
Kalani, that was a really brilliant speech. You know, what I really enjoyed about that was your really chilled out attitude with that presidential podcast, The Voice. And I just wanted to ask you, how'd you break through the nerves?
Look, I'm actually really nervous. That's why I talk really fast. And I think that's what gives it the presidential sort of feeling, because I can get it done snappily and quickly. But I genuinely just think that what I was saying is true, and I do really believe in it. So I think that if people do take that in, they should, hopefully they gain something out of that and improve themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I really think that chilled out attitude is really something that people should take on towards asking questions.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got Brad Witters saying asking questions keeps you moving forward, stops you staying in your comfort zone. Marley saying, look at him go. Kalani's doing great. Rianne Miller, Tom Winsey, let's get Kalani as co-host next. Georgie saying, Kalani, you've got my vote. So good on you all. Hope, Chloe and Kalani for bringing your ideas and thoughts into the world and helping us all make sense of it together. It was awesome hanging out with you guys today as the presidents of Imagination. All righty, we're going to move into our next segment, which is failure time. Connor, how are you feeling about failure time?
Pretty pumped to fail.
Yeah, awesome. I love that attitude. All right, we've got Bobby Cunningham coming in as your co-host of Failure Time next, and we've got a quick video that's going to get us going.
First of all, I'd like to say well done on all those presidential speeches. Sensational, fantastic, well done. Today, I'd like to thank you guys for joining us for Failure Time. As you know, Failure Time gives us a safe space where we can fail without any repercussion or any hassles. So I know you guys did it all throughout the show, but I'd like for you to take the time to tell everyone your name, your school, and your year level. And we'll start with you, Connor.
Okay, so my name's Conor Syron. I'm from Adelaide, SA. I go to Trinity College Senior, and I'm in Year 12.
Well done. Hope.
Hi guys, my name's Hope Wright. I go to Golden Grove High School. I live in SA, and I'm in Year 12.
Year 12s. We got a lot of leaders on this call. Joseph.
Yeah, my name's Joseph. I'm from Babies Bay High School. And yeah.
What year level you in, brother?
Oh, yeah, year 11. Yeah.
Year 11. We got seniors on this call.
Yeah.
Riley.
What's up, guys? My name's Riley Million. I'm from Brisbane in Queensland, and I go to Beenleigh State High School in grade 12.
Paris Lee.
Hey guys, I'm Paris Lee. I'm from Sydney and I go to Northmead and I'm in year 11.
And last but not least, the presidential speech we just heard, Kalani.
Hey, I'm Kalani Ripley. I go to Miami State High and I live in Byron Bay.
Right. So at AIM, we got 21 values. And today's value that we speaking to is asking questions. So I got a couple of questions I want you all to think about. Take 5 or 6 seconds to think about what word best describes you. And after you figure out that word, I'd like you to tell me why. So just take 5 seconds, have a think about your word, and then we'll go. Kalani, start us off.
I'd say passionate, because if I really actually like something, not English, but if I really like something, I will be the most enthusiastic, most happy person about it. And I think that when I talk to people, that I'll always try to put in 100%. And I feel like I'm always passionate about what I do.
Yeah, that's great, brother. That's really great. Well done. Paris. I'm sorry, Paris Lee.
That's okay. I was thinking of the word unique because I feel I'm not the same as everyone else because everyone else is individual, their own individual in their own way. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're all unique in our own different way. That's exactly right, Paris. Exactly right. Riley, what word describes you, brother?
I'd probably say resilient, just because you give me a challenge and I won't stop till I succeed. And that's sort of the whole point of failure time as well. Like, you're here to fail, but then you're here to learn from your mistakes and just keep going until you get it right, pretty much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What you think about that, Connor?
Yeah. I actually I had a thought as well. Being ready to learn from your mistakes. Ready is my word that I was thinking of. And honestly, it's an interesting dynamic because it does work both ways. You know, you can be ready for challenges. You can You can be ready for that important word to fail, but you can also be ready to keep moving forward and to look forward into the future and to be ready to chase what you're passionate in.
Absolutely, absolutely. Joseph, where you at, brother?
Mia. I feel like motivated is my word, because like it best describes me, because I want to do something new, you know, because I feel motivated to do like new things and try it out and have a go at it.
Okay, so how you staying motivated during this pandemic?
I work at KFC. There's always something new. Like you always got to stay away from customers, or like you got to wash your hands every 5 minutes or something like that. And then like, you know, you gotta like do something new. You gotta make sure you clean the floors and like, you know. Seems pretty real.
Absolutely. Gotta stay on top of it.
Yeah.
Gotta stay on top of it. Chloe.
I would call myself passionate just because when I get into something, there's no stopping me. I want to make sure it's absolutely what I think. And yeah, I just love doing certain things.
Yeah, passion. So we got passionate 2 times on here. That's okay. Hope.
I would say language.
Okay. Yeah, you tell us more, Hope. Tell us more.
As long as I can remember, I always shut down when I didn't like something or when someone didn't like something about me. And instead of verbalizing that, I wrote it down. And by writing things down, I managed to learn by myself. And in doing that, I've been given so many opportunities. Like, I never asked questions. And I started doing that in AIM. And I have my piece of work published in a book that Jack produced called The Mentor. I wrote a book review on Jack's book. You know, I was flown to Sydney for an interview. That was in front of all the AIM staff. And, you know, I wrote a closing speech for AIM 2020 in front of, you know, the Friday Moment essay. And now I wrote a speech on here. And it's just my language. I'm always told that my words dance off the page or it's inspiring. And that's what I like doing. I like using my platform, which is my words and the language I use, to inspire other kids so they can find ways to build their own platform.
Excellent. Now, look, to have someone tell you your words jump off the page is, you know, that's inspiring, you know, and I'm sure that keeps you going. So, look, I think for myself, I have one word that describes you all, and that's brave. Like during this period of time that we all living in right now, going through what we're going through right now, for you guys to, you know, for some of us on the court to continue to put your hand up, sensational, absolutely sensational. So, and I think that speaks volumes to each one of you and what you bring to the table. So before we throw it back to the boss man, do anyone have a question for either Jack or anyone on this panel?
I think I wanted to ask, what would inspire you to get your words in this book?
And you're asking that to?
No, I think I might drill Hope with another question here.
That book, it was interesting for me because when I read Jack's book, it felt like he was speaking to me personally. You know, he's quite fair-skinned. I'm more fair-skinned than he is, but he's still fair-skinned, you know. He talked about his struggles that were my struggles, and I know I just started typing, and I kept typing, and by the end of when I went to hand it in, everyone didn't actually do the work, or they handed in a sentence or a paragraph, and I handed in 3 pages. And I don't know, I guess Rianne loved it, Jamari loved it, Tyrone loved it, everyone else who read it loved it, and then it got passed to Jack. And I got his email, and I don't know, it was more inspiring to hear from him that he was inspired by me. So I wrote again, and now I'm here.
Amazing the tools that we have with like the levels of communication. Like we all kind of have, I think we all have different people that we can look to and find stories from, and in a story then maybe find a little bit of ourselves in a story. And part of the theme that keeps coming through on Imagination TV is that if you stop when you get hit by that moment of inspiration or something rattles you a little bit, like, and you go, oh man, that really made me think. And if you follow that little path, like Alice when she's going through the door into Wonderland, and if you can jimmy open that door and put your foot in and you go through, there's just really fascinating things that happen on the other side. And that little period, like the Alice in Wonderland example, you know, when Alice is growing massive out of her body and then shrinking, like that physically hurts her. Growth really hurts. But then after growth, I reckon there's this gnarly like flow periods where you're kind of like just cruising down a river, and yeah, like Hope was saying, the words can come out, or if you're painting or if you're thinking or if you've got an idea, you kind of just wake up the next day and you're not as sore anymore because you've grown. So I echo what Bobby said. Good on you all for being brave, for using your words, for putting yourselves out there. And you know, every day we're drafting, every day we're redrafting and trying to work out more and more things along the way. So we've got some great comments coming in from the chat line. We've got Richard Daniel saying, Hope, Chloe and Kalani absolutely bossed those speeches. Loving the energy crew. Well done. Semi Chari saying they're all smashing it. What a bunch. Vanessa Ellis saying, I'm loving how cool and composed this segment is. Such a great discussion. All great speakers. We've got Steph Beck, great co-hosting. Connor, I know it's not an easy gig, buddy. Steph, looking forward to having you back on the show in June when I'm going to have a week off. I'm looking forward to that as well. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining us today as part of Failure Time. Well done, Bobby. How was that hosting?
Look, as I said, like, I think Conor gave me a bit of inspiration last week. That's why you see the paintings in the background. Like, you know, you can learn from young people as well. So thanks for giving me the opportunity.
Pleasure, brother. Thank you for being brave and jumping in the deep end. To any of the AIM team out there, Bobby Cunningham was the only person who put onto Slack that he wanted to host Failure Time. So I know that we're out there and we're standing in front of these kids and saying we're mentors and we're being brave. So let's have some initiative. Let's be brave and let's jump back on that Slack post from Rianne Miller and say, yeah, I'd love to run Failure Time. Maybe we'll get a few more hosts. What do you reckon, Bobby?
Sounds good to me. But
awesome.
I'm ready.
Connor, thank you for joining us today as a co-host. How was the experience for you? What did you learn?
Honestly, I'm just so honoured to be on the screen here, and I learned so much about everybody's incentives to fail and to ask those questions and to learn from those mistakes. And I think one thing I really wanted to say to the audience now is that I want to see you up here in our shoes. I'd really love to see your questions being answered and for you to fail, because it's a really important thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And let's keep building a stage collectively where all of us take the responsibility to see change happen in Australia and all around the world as we try and build this fairer world together, where kids aren't being left behind, where we're thinking about what it looks like to have an opportunity in life, where, you know, currently one of the stories that hit me over the weekend is we're about to enter one of the more significant food crises that we've seen in human history. One of the countries we work out of in Zimbabwe is at the top of that list. And we have enough food to go around in the world. We've got to look at big problems like that. And all of us go, all right, how do we try and find a way to solve that and be a part of the solution? So let's keep stopping, acting, and then changing the way the world works and hopefully build a fairer world together. Paris, Riley, Hope, Chloe, Jelani, Kalani, Joseph, thank you so much for joining us today and being a part of the show. We'll see you all later. Okay, heading on to our final segment today, and this is going to wrap up the show. We've got a video diary that's coming in during the times of COVID-19 called Being Brave in the Times of COVID-19. At the end of this period, however long it takes, we're going to publish a small book, which will be the diary entries of all these young people around the world who have been brave during the times of COVID-19. So today we have AALIYAH FORREST who will take us out, and we'll be back tomorrow with the designers segment. Looking forward to seeing you all on Imagination TV tomorrow. Take care, everyone.
Dear kids of the world, I'm Aaliyah, I'm 16, and I'm currently in Year 11 at Eastern Goldfields College in Kalgoorlie, WA. Right now, everything has been cancelled. Netball has been postponed, basketball was cancelled, and this made me feel really disappointed because I worked so hard all season and my team made it to the grand finals. 2 hours before the game, I got a phone call and was told that the games were cancelled because of coronavirus. And I was kind of a kick in the guts because we worked so hard in the year and we couldn't even play our last game. School had begun briefing us in preparation for learning at home. I didn't think this was what actually happened though. It didn't feel real to me. When school did close a few days later, I still had 2 weeks of work left before the holidays, so I had to start learning from home, which was really hard, even though I'm motivated and pretty disciplined. I struggled to find routine in this new learning environment. It was harder to concentrate and less enjoyable as the friends weren't there. Even with all these challenges, I'm still focused on my goals for basketball and I feel like I've actually become more motivated. School isn't back for me yet, but I know that I'll be able to find a routine and do my work because I want to do more than anything, I want to complete year 11 and 12, and in 2022 I'm planning on going to uni to study physiotherapy. But in the meantime, I'll be on the court putting up shots or practicing my ball skills. So, take care and be brave.